How my eating disorder started. It started when the summer I entered my junior year. I just felt like I wanted to lose a couple pounds. It was like this was the first time that I kind of started to notice my weight. I was going through puberty. I gained a lot in like a small period of time. I was with my boyfriend Jake at the time, and a lot of that was affecting it too. I wanted to be attractive to him and everything, and so I started going to the gym for the first time. And after I lost a little bit of weight, it kind of became addicting. And before I knew it, I realized that it helped me block out my problems at home. And it did. I just kind of started getting obsessed with it. And I didn't have any goal in mind. I just felt like I wanted the numbers to keep dropping. I had no idea how far I could make it go, but I knew I wanted to make it go as far as I could.
Well, when I first realized that Katie was in trouble, it was probably months down the road since when she had the problem. Like, she'd go and exercise, she'd go and do all this, go to the gym. You know, I ran 3 miles today. You know, that's good. You know, you're a little worrisome about that, but mostly when I noticed, it was actually when I went to visit her when she had moved away to New Mexico, and the first thing I noticed when I saw her was her arms looked small.
It's like all of the commercials I saw every day. I started getting obsessed with reading the fitness magazines. I mean, the society makes it seem so healthy. They make it seem like you're an unhealthy person, you're a bad person if you don't do this and you don't listen to the dieting industry. And I just got obsessed. I started looking up on calories for everything, and I felt like I was doing the right thing. I mean, I could tell that it stressed out my parents a little, but they didn't notice it for a while. So I felt like I was doing the right thing, and my family didn't say anything about me looking bad, or, I mean, they all thought I looked good. So I definitely didn't think it was unhealthy.
It was very scary. You know, you love that person. You're like, oh, what could I do to help? But really, you come to look at it as you can't do anything. And even her parents, you know, you start wondering, what are they thinking? Why aren't they helping at all? But obviously you can't do anything, you know. They can only mention things, and it's whether she will listen or not. So it's very, very scary to see someone progressively getting so small and frail.
At first they just thought I was stressed out and that I was losing weight because of that. But I just kept going and going and going, and they knew that something was wrong way before I did. And in a sense, it's almost like I knew there was something wrong, but I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to think that I was doing the right thing. And so I just kept going with it.
There's a lot of times you try and get her to eat. I'd literally make something, just, you know, oh, let's have this, you know, without even asking, surprise dinner, which unfortunately later you learn that's really bad to do. But yeah, it's definitely interesting when you make that food, you know, it's really good, you know. She's Italian, so let's make some Italian food. You'll love to eat that. But once she says no, you just start asking why. You know, you'd eat this 2 months ago. How come you won't eat it now? I mean, simple things. I mean, grilled cheese even, that was probably a difficult one. Just easy to make, easy to prepare, but so hard for them to look at or eat. So yeah, it was very frustrating. Do all this effort for you're eating it yourself. So yeah.
And I got very, very sick, and it was once I hit rock bottom and I felt like a monster was inside me and it was trying to kill me. I realized that at rock bottom. If I had lost any more weight, I would have died. And that was when I realized that I needed help so bad, and my family was just absolutely devastated, crying every night.
It's really horrifying when you watch someone you love get sick or close to death even. I have so many pictures in my mind of how she progressively got worse and there was nothing I could do about it. The amazing thing to me is she's so sick, she's so thin, yet she can't even see it. You know, us, the loved ones around her, family or whatever, we see it so clear. Like, oh my gosh, she's probably lost another X pounds for that. But I can't believe that people can go on living normally, thinking it's normal to be so thin and exercise so much. So it's horrifying pictures that'll stick with me for a very long time about how this eating disorder starts and ends.
I started to become afraid to go to sleep when I just felt like my body was so weak. I couldn't walk anymore. I could barely get up the stairs. I collapsed if I even tried to go to the gym. And my heart and everything just felt like it was so weak that it was going to stop in my sleep. I wanted my stepmother to sleep with me that night because I was afraid I wasn't going to wake up. And that's like the scariest feeling ever. And it can get that bad for anybody. I woke up one morning and I felt a pain in my chest. Like I was screaming for my dad, but like nothing was coming out. And he eventually came in and he took me to the University of New Mexico hospital. And I could barely walk at that point, and the nurses were all totally shocked. Like, they didn't know what to do. They were ready to take me to Children's Hospital in Denver by helicopter because they didn't know how I would last. And that was the night that I was terrified to go to sleep because I had to wait one day before my dad and I could drive me, like, to Children's Hospital. And we got there, and I mean, I don't remember much. I remember my mom was there, and she, like, reached in and, like, picked me out of the car, and, like, I just remember her face being just so horrified and sad. And they took me in, and I remember waiting down in the floor, like the bottom floor, to be taken up, and it was seriously like I blacked out after that. Because I don't remember being taken up to the 8th floor where they took care of me, and I don't remember getting in my bed. I don't remember being hooked up to any monitors. I wish then that I had known about the disease, because, I mean, I felt like people, I mean, you just see someone skinny and you automatically accuse them of being anorexic or something when it's not necessarily true. Like, there's so much more to it, and it's a real illness, and I never knew that. And I had no idea the symptoms of anorexia at all until, like, my parents started researching it when it was brought to them that it could be an issue. So I wish I had known about it. I wish I had known how to fix it, like how it was emotional, and just even the signs of it, to know that it was real. So I thought I was just doing a normal thing that people do. You know, they just exercise, they diet. I just thought it was normal. I didn't know that I was pushing it so much further. I felt like I was just going to be there a couple days, but every week, once my brain had kind of come back on again from being fed, every week or every day doctors would see me and they'd tell me, you're going to need to be in here another week or another 2 weeks, to the point where I was there, I think, for at least 5 weeks, so over a month.
What I think about a lot is how many people out there may suffer from it, and how many people we see in the hospital every week going to therapy. You know, it's just rotations of kids and men and women, actually. I'm just amazed at how they can do it. You know, if you could put yourself in their shoes, I don't really know how anybody could do what she's done. You know, it's just amazing to go through that process and still want to fight through it and not give up. You know, thinking about it maybe, but not giving up. I really just respect the Children's Hospital and everything they do for them, and how they incorporate the family and the kids' issues as well. It's just really amazing how they fight.
The hardest part about recovery would definitely be losing freedoms for a period of time. I mean, for a while you feel like you're never going to get them back. And that's hard to deal with. I mean, it can be it can be scary gaining weight just because society makes you think that you're not supposed to. But in reality, if you're that little, you're supposed to. And that's hard to deal with. Once you've been trained to think that gaining weight is so bad for you, it's hard. But in the end, I mean, you'll realize it's the right thing to do. But and just until you get there, those freedoms are kind of taken away, and that's what an eating disorder does. It takes a lot of things away from you.
One thing that I've struggled with through this whole thing is looking at the person as a person, not an eating disorder, because there are two very different things between, you know, the real person you're talking to and the eating disorder person. So really, all you're trying to do is help the other person, your personality, shine. There's a lot of things you learn going through this process that, I mean, I can't even list them. Just since I didn't know what an eating disorder was, I've learned so much. I mean, there's every day you just go through and we can help each other say, oh, you could have said this, would have helped, and then I do that tomorrow or something. So, yeah.
We are carrying it through with our dream to move back to Florida, which is my hometown, and I'm going to go to school there, Florida State, which I've wanted to do forever, and we're just so happy. We're just counting down the days, and every day we have to keep fighting at this to keep it down, because if it ever came back, it would destroy a lot of things again that I am so hopeful about. If I go back and reflect on Children's Hospital and their program, I mean, it was the most amazing thing I've ever seen, that's for sure, because I had no idea what I was getting myself into. No idea. I just had to dive into it, and they did make me feel really welcome. I mean, the staff there, I mean, I can go in and I say all their names, they all know me. It seems like they all really remember each patient, because you'll find like one staff member or another that you'll really connect with, and you'll trust that person. I mean, there might be staff members you have trouble with because they push your buttons, they challenge you, but I mean, that's what they're there to do. They know what they're doing. But there are some of them, I mean, you feel like you can trust them, like you really can, because they're so dedicated to what they do. I mean, everyone there has that job because they love it. I mean, you don't hear about this disease very often, and so the people that do know about it are really dedicated to it. And I mean, a lot of the people, my therapists even, have gone through it themselves, and that makes it so much more relatable. And you feel like you can really trust them that way too. And I mean, there's a lot of crying. They make you cry, and they make you mad. But that's what it takes. You have to go through that emotional roller coaster to get through an eating disorder. And I couldn't have done it without them.